I go into really good.
What up, y'all? Back with another video. In today's video of Food for Thoughts, episode 2, we're going to be reviewing the new FNAF movie. I know, it's a big deal, especially to all the furry fans like myself. I am an advocate for the furry community and would really much appreciate it if you could stop sending me death threats over Instagram over it. Now, what did I think about the new FNAF movie? Now, like, when we were going, I went with a couple of friends. I already heard the reviews. The reviews were god-awful from critics. Who gives a fuck about them? They fags anyway. And so, I was going into this knowing, hey, as long as I know the lore to Five Nights at Freddy's, I should be good. And so, that's all I have to say. If you go into this movie knowing the lore, the background, every inch and detail of the FNAF universe, you should be good. And also, there's also a hidden fact. It also makes you smarter, proven by Dr. Shitstain himself. If you know the FNAF lore, then you are well above your peers that do not know the FNAF lore. And so, back to what I was saying. So when we went to the movie, we sat down. I had my costume on. I had my shark costume, because that's my persona. It's a shark that is bisexual in nature and loves dick and vagina all the way. And so we were sitting there and we were watching it. And at first, there's spoilers. I forgot. Spoiler warning. If you have not watched this is my review. Go watch the movie and then come back to this video and watch it before I spoil things for you. And so, basically, the plot revolves around this dude named Mike. Mike Fitzgerald? No. Mike Schultz. That's what I learned later into the movie. They were teasing the shit out of it, and they delivered a iconic character named Mike Schultz, and he had a daughter. I don't remember the bitch's name. I mean, like, she was just basically there. And so, him and the daughter were going, and they were living, you know. And Mike Schultz, his family, they're estranged. His mother, I think they both died. I think his parents just died. I'm pretty sure, or something. I think his mother either died, and then his dad started going off and some shit, and he ended up having the custody of the daughter. And there's like this family feud between the daughter, the brother of the daughter, or the sister, and this aunt. Like, I don't know what the aunt was doing there, but she was there, and she was just basically bitching around. And so Mike Schultz was needing a job, and this dude, which it gives really creepy vibes, and if you watch it, you already know what I'm talking about. He is played by Shaggy himself, Shagster, and I'm surprised I didn't see Scooby in there, but like, there's already enough anthropomorphic characters in this movie. We don't need more. And so, Shagalicious, he's like a counselor, and he tells Mike, hey, I got a job for you. It's a security gig at this place. It's run down. It used to be big in the 80s, FNAF, Five Nights at Freddy's, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. You better fuck off. I'm trying to make a show in here. Now, anyways, back to what I was saying. We were watching. Well, no, what was I watching? I was watching the FNAF, and then Shagalicious. He was doing his thing, telling Mike, "Hey, I got a job for you. It's at this place. It's Five Nights at Freddy's. You gotta what? Is that my phone about to die? Shit. Damn." But anyways, Damn, I keep getting my shit distracted. I'm getting distracted. Hold up, let me pull out the recliner so I can be laying down. So anyways, you know, Shagalicious tells him, I got a job for you. It's at Five Nights at Freddy's. And it's basically a security gig. You know, basically the premise of the game. You already know what it is. And, you know, the first night, nothing happens. He's just dreaming. Oh yeah, this is another thing. He has a dream because his brother got kidnapped. And, you know, he has the same dream over and over again where he goes back in time to when it happened. And apparently this place, you know, the installator, the store, the pizzeria gives him these powers to, like, where he can change his dream and kind of figure out who the fuck took his brother or whatever all them years ago. And it was some place in Nebraska. Of course it'd be Nebraska, you know. There's always a bunch of pedophiles and shit over there. Ain't no one like Nebraska. They got pretty views, but I guess that pretty views turn people into, you know, raging sex addicts. But anyways, you know, he got kidnapped in the woods. You know, classic little kid, you know, finds stranger, you know, gets tooken. So, you know, he ends up tooken and ends up like fucking up his brother in the process. Dumb kid, in my opinion. You know, I would have seen through the candy and the Jolly Rancher tattooed on his hand. You know, like you gotta admit there. But anyways, you know, he's feeling like he can change the past, or like figure out who took his brother, because he read this book called Mind Layers or something, and like it tells him that, you know, everything, like, you see ever to the everlast detail. Like if I pulled down my pants right now and I showed you my wing wang, you would be able, like, you wouldn't know the exact, but like somewhere in there you would know exactly what it looked like. There would be a clear picture of my dick in your mind. And so, like, he's believing all this, and this pizzeria, it's happening. He's dreaming, but like no animals are going at it. You know, Freddy and all of them, they know how to fuck off whenever he be sleeping. And so he goes home, you know, ends up, you know, talking to his piece of shit daughter or sister. She doesn't really talk that much. She's kind of like a social inept dude. Kind of like me. I kind of like it, but, you know, that's the way. Anyways, so he ends up going back, and he's back in there. He's doing his thing in the second night, and then, like, there's 5 children in his dream, and they're supposed to be representing Chica, Freddy, Bonnie, Foxy, and at first I thought it was going to be Golden Freddy, but apparently they put that fucking soul into a fucking cupcake. Into a fucking cupcake. You want to hear that shit? That would have been a perfect time to be seeing some Goldie Fred in action. You know, we'd be seeing Freddy doing the Thug Shaker and Golden Freddy doing the Thug Shaker all at the same time, you know, doing their thing. But instead, we got a fucking cupcake. But the cupcake comes in later. And so, he's looking at these children, and he's like, hey, do you know who took my brother? And they're like, you know, they're kind of retarded. They kind of look at him like he's retarded or something. And I guess they get spooked by his retardation, so they start running. They start scattering like little rats. And so he starts chasing one, and he's like, choo, 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 choo. He's chasing the red-haired one. Of course, it's a ginger. That's the first one you gotta chase after. You gotta kill that bitch before anything. They ain't got no soul. He probably is going to suck another soul from another child. And so he's chasing after this ginger, being all heroic, you know. And but the ginger fights back as soon as he gets up to him. He's got this hook for a hand. And he's like, what? What? I get cut? Like, you know, he's looking down. He's got cuts on him. And so, you know, like, and then he wakes up to like a knock at the door, and he looks on the security camera, and there's this cop. And this cop, he goes and lets her in, and her name's Vanessa. And Vanessa, no lie, I would dick her down. But guess what? I ain't Mike. That's Mike's job to do. And so Mike's like, hey, what you doing here, you know? And like Vanessa's like dropping all this kind of lore on us, you know, is like, hey, I loved this place as a kid. I always used to be here. I'm like, man, you know, she must be a FNAF addict, you know, like be one of them original customers or whatever. And so they're talking, they're like, you gotta make sure it's good, keep good care of the place, you know, like, and she's kind of like giving these strange vibes, like, and she's like, were you sleeping? And he was like, no. And he obviously tell he was sleeping or either tweaking, either one. He was taking some medicine. I think it was oxycodone or meth. Either one, they would do the same thing. He'd be, oh, actually, meth might keep him awake, but you know, in the end of it, he's gonna be sleeping. And so, you know, she told him, hey, don't be sleeping on the job. You know, you always gotta be staying alert. You gotta be aware. That's what she said. And so, anyways, like he goes home. Aunt bitch, she comes back, she starts doing her shit, and oh, I forgot about it. The little sister, she has a babysitter, and the babysitter is in cahoots with her aunt, his aunt, and like they're trying to make a scheme to like catch him, like try to get him in jail or something, so she could have the kid and have the check, you know, because she's a broke bitch, doesn't know how to get a job, and so like she's trying to take the kid and to have that money. No lie, kind of respect it, but you know, this ain't my place to do. So, anyways, after the fags start, you know, cahooting and whatever, they start talking. They're like, hey, how can we get into the Freddy Fazbear? Like, how can we like, you know, get him out of the picture, and whatever. And so they make up this great idea that he's like, hey, he just got a job at Five Nights at Freddy's. Anyways, he got a job at this place, and they might as well, you know, come and be a homewrecker, start tearing up the shit. She's like, you know, that would be a good idea. I'll pay you $1,000. It was originally $2,000, but her broke ass had to take it down to $1,000 because she's so broke. But anyways, they going in, and so the next day, because it was a day, they had to plan it out. And so, like, he slept through it, and, I think it was the fourth night, it was either the fourth night, no, this is the third night, he's on the third night. So on the third night, after he's done, you know, sleeping through his shift, because he's bad at doing his shit. Oh, actually, on the third night, there's some important lore. While he's sleeping, he gets talking to the white one, the white blonde one. Apparently he's Freddy. He's the Freddy fucker. And so he's like, hey, I'll make you a deal. You know, like he's telling him, he's like, do you know anything that happened to my brother? Because he's still on this brother arc. You know, he's trying to find out who his brother kidnapper was and stuff. And the kid's like, what's in it for us? And whatever. And so he's like, you know, I could be like anything. I'll give you anything and whatever. And he like just fucking poofs, I guess. And so after they poof, he you know, wakes up and ends up locking the door and leaving, but he forgets to lock one door, a little shipping container door. And so the little fags and the rats, they start scurrying over to there's three of them. There's, actually, there's four of them. There's four of them bitches. Actually, there's four. Because the girl one was there, too. And so, oh my God, I keep hearing noises out there. You better fuck off, cat. But anyways, we got Santa Claus, we got Twink, we got Big Man, and then we got Small Woman. And so we got four characters. We got Santa Claus, we got Twink, and we got Big Man, and then we got Small Woman. And so they go in there, they start wrecking shit. Big Man starts stealing quarters, because this man doesn't know, like, the fuck he's doing. What, like, who steals quarters? Like, that would be the most obvious motherfucking thing ever. If you go into a bank and try to exchange a bunch of fucking quarters after someone's just ransacked the fucking pizzeria with a bunch of games, you know? I think something's happening in my camera. It better not be falling. No, it's not falling. But, anyways, they're doing their shit. And, Twink's the first to go. He opens up a thing. He opens up a freezer. And at first, there ain't no cupcake in there. And then he opens it again, and there's a cupcake, and it's mean mugging him, too. And so it's like giving him that mean face and whatever. And he gets, like, fucked. He gets mouth fucked by this cupcake. And so the Santa Claus, you would think, you know, he would be some big man. But after seeing his friend getting his shit ate, he was like, oh, hell no. And started crying like a little bitch. And the cupcake saw him. And, you know, saw that fear in him. And, like, called on someone else to come get him. Actually, it was Chica. Chica saw that shit. Because she's a mean bitch. Honestly thick. I didn't think... I was wishing she would start twerking, but she did not. So, like, that sucked. But, you know, it's the usual. It's a PG-13 movie. Next one, please have Chica get on stage and start busting it down sexual style. I would really love that, and that's a demand. Let's get that done. I'll work in cahoots with you. I'll get it all scripted out. I'll get the flappage of the cheeks exact and everything. You just contact me if you need help with it. But anyways, so he starts running. He runs into a little supply closet, you know, getting somewhere safe so he can get sexual and get down with somebody. And it turns out the person who's ready to get down with him is Bonnie. And so he starts butt fucking him in the supply closet. You could see his hand drag down because he had so much pleasure. There was cum on it, so like it left a little smear spot and whatever. And so he's down. He's out for the count. So we got Twink and Santa Claus down. We got 2 others left. I think Big Man, he tried running. He tried running after he's seeing all the shit going down. Tried going to the exit. It was stuck. So Foxy ended up fucking him too. Then it was Small Bitch. Small Bitch ended up, you know, following a voice. Good Easter eggs, by the way. It was like, follow me and come here, over here, or something. Good Easter eggs if you know the FNAF lore, if you're a true FNAFer. But anyways, he goes in, she gets baited into Freddy's mouth. You know, there's an opening, you know, and hand comes and grabs that bitch up and grabs her in there. And, you know, that was another thing. She gets like fucking cut in half, you know, by this fucking thing. Very fucking good on them. They did a PG-13 movie and they still incorporated the fucking gore. I don't even know how they fucking did it, but they just did. And so you see the fucking other half of this bitch on the ground. And like you saw the shadow, like they had a shadow of it. And like she gets fucking smashed, like fucking clipped, you know, like off the face of the earth. Like ain't coming back from it. And so like this other half of her, you know, it's just the ass part, you know, is on the ground. And, you know, Freddy ate the rest of the shit. And so, you know, all 4 of them, all 4 of the fags, you know, Team Fag, they ended up dying. And, you know, the place is ransacked, you know. They already got the way to do it. And so Vanessa, knowing that the place was fucked, went and saw Mike. And he was at the house taking care of his sister and whatever. And she goes knocking on the door. She's like, hey, the fucking Five Nights at Freddy's place, it's fucking fucked. You know, someone fucked it up because your dumbass left it unlocked, which is true. If I was Mike, I would have not done that because I'm a good worker and I don't sleep on the job. But anyways, we go. And no, it's not we go. They go. He's like, man, I gotta tell you, man, I gotta drop this lore on you, my lore on you. And so it's this heartfelt story, and it's like, couple years ago, my brother got kidnapped. Snatched off the block. He got caught. He got caught by the ops. And she's like, oh, that's sad. And he's like, but that place, I get this feeling, when I go to sleep there, I could like interact with them and stuff, and like get that all in there, and everything like that. And so that night, it was just basically lore dropping on them, just basically being a fuck up and whatever. But after that, the sister wants to go and play, and they end up going. They start doing their shit. Damn, my fucking vape died, but they start doing their shit over there, doing their thing. And actually, I forgot probably that the daughter went before and kind of met up with the kids and whatever, started playing with them. Actually, I think it was the fifth night they ended up going, right? I don't know. But at some point, the daughters made friends with the animatronics, and he goes back to sleep, and he gets a deal, and like he starts talking to the people, and he's like, what do you want to give me this information? And she's like, and he's like, no, and he's like, I don't know. He just wakes up, sees the fucking animatronics moving. It's shits and giggles at that point. Vanessa ends up joining the fun. They make a fort. They start hanging out. And so later, he starts doing his shit and whatever. The crazy bitch ends up coming back because the babysitter ended up getting fucked, And so she's watching the kid. And he goes to work for the last time after Vanessa told him not to bring the daughter again because, dead kids, they might be wanting something to do with it. And so anyways, they're going back and they're chilling. And the last night, when he's there, he's like, goes to sleep. And the kid, the white-haired kid, comes to his dream and he wakes up. In this different dream, like it's not the same, because his mother is there, his father's there, and his fucking brother's there, and the dude did not get snatched. And I was like, this is good. They finally found the fucker or whatever. But no, it's just a two-way thing. Listen to how stupid this fucking deal is. Okay, these motherfucking kids thought they were really gonna get this motherfucker to do it. So he's like, oh, this is impossible. How I've never had this dream before. And he starts crying. It's all emotional because he sees his brother there, And the little Five Nights, the little fuck, he's like, you could dream this every night. You could dream this every night. And all you gotta do is give me the fucking kid, the little sister. And he's like, at first you're like, are you really going to go through with that? But then you remember, that wouldn't be really heroic and shit. And so he's like, no. And then, they start getting mad and shit. So they start cutting his legs and cutting him and all that. It starts to go. And he's on his brink. And then he wakes up. And he has to escape from Foxy because Foxy's being a little bitch. And being all that. And so he ends up escaping. And, ends up trying to go home, but Freddy's already there, snatching. He killed the fucking aunt, and he grabbed the fucking child. And so they're going back to find the Fridays or whatever. And Vanessa finds the fucking Mike and takes him to the back and wraps him up and everything. And then this is the part where I fucking went I had to go to use the bathroom. And so, I didn't get all that lore. But I could guess what would happen because the end. So, what's her name, tells her, hey, there was child murders here. The murders, where they were committed by my father. And he ended up, your brother was one of the kids that he murdered. And so, she's like, no, like, you know, hitting this, he's big and deep, because all if he was wanting was this bitch, like the bitch who took his fucking brother. And so he ended up getting, you know, enlightened, and it turns out to be Vanessa's father, Shagalicious. Shagalicious is the purple guy in this one. Great fucking move. That is a great fucking move on their part. Shagalicious is the best ever. Ever since the Scooby-Doo movies, I have loved Shagalicious. Every movie he's been in, I've loved his character, especially in Scream. He was a Scream character. You gotta remember that. Before Shagalicious, he was in Scream, and so he's like, you know, she's like, yeah, my father was the one that killed him, and he put them in the suits, and so they can control the suits because their souls are inhabiting the suits. You know, I keep seeing this fucking shit move. I'm gonna do a little thing here. Try to get this situated so I can get through this stretch real quick. But anyways, so Shagalicious, he's the child murderer, you know? And so he's like, hey, like, I can't go back. I can't come back here just in case he's here. Because he knows, like, he wants to kill me. Or not kill me, but he will, like, I won't be able to be strong enough to face him. And she basically says, this is the quest for you. This is your quest. And so they drive around. He goes to the east side of the building into a vent with a taser and a fucking cow prodder to mess with their electricals. And so he ends up going in there, and, you know, Freddy and all them, they were, like, kind of grooming the child a little bit. A lot of grooming in this one. They were, like, dancing around, saying, hey, look at this, it's all cool. And Chica starts, you know, going, like, come here, like, we'll follow. And so she follows the little Chica bird to the back. And this is the point where I was getting confused, because the thing they were planning to put the child in was a spring-lock suit, and it kind of looked like, what's her name? The fucking, I don't remember it's the bitch and sister location. She's the main hoe. She was there, but it didn't look like that. It looked like just a normal, like, people were saying it was, but it might have been a different suit. It might have been like I don't know, Circus Baby. There it is. It might have been Circus Baby. It might have been Innard. People were saying it was Innard, probably. I would probably lean more towards Innard, maybe, because Innard would probably, it was probably just a suit to kill the bitch. I mean, honestly, I don't know. We're probably just digging too much into it. But anyways, you know, they're about to put the kid in there. It's gonna, you know, crush her and whatever. And luckily, he ends up dealing with Freddy and Bonnie. It starts pouring. He pours water on the stage and then tases the shit. And they're out for the count. And so he goes back there and he pushes Chica, tases Chica. She's dead. And then they start running and whatever. But the cupcake, it starts flying. There's a lot of flying. People have been starting to power scale this bitch, this cupcake, because it literally moves at the speed of fucking light and, like, flies through the air. Like, it's got some fucking feats in this movie. But he ends up tasing the shit out of that one too. And last one's Foxy. So Foxy's hunting the kid because the kid tried running off and whatever. And he's real close to getting them. Like, they were hiding in the ball pits, and Foxy was sniffing the shit out of them. And Vanessa came back like a bad bitch and tased the shit out of Foxy. And so Foxy's down for the count too. And so Mike, while he's trying to run out and, like, try to secure, you know, the victory royale, it turns out Springtrap is here. Springtrap comes back. And it turns out he's been controlling these kids and trying to make them do their bidding, start to spread, like, get more kids in this, to, like, have an army, basically, to, like, murder kids, I guess. I don't know. He's kind of just a fucked up dude. Shagalicious played him very well. And he's like, hey, y'all are my friends. They did not see Shagalicious's face. That's the problem. Because they were wanting to know who killed them. So, like, they were trying to figure it out. And all they had was a picture on the wall that showed a little rabbit with all the 5 kids around him. So they would know, like, hey, the yellow rabbit is a friend. Turns out he was the one, you know, fucking him up and whatever. And so, the little girl seeing this, she starts getting to work on her Picasso, you know, starts drawing the shit. And then, like, Mike starts trying to fight Shagalicious. Shagalicious, is about to kill Mike, but Vanessa comes in. She's like, hey, you can't do this, Dad. You can't be doing this. And, like, Shagalicious ends up stabbing the shit out of her, right in the stomach. Really death blow right there. But, Mike finally starts to distract him enough so the little shit can go and put it on the wall. And all the animatronics look towards the wall and see that the yellow rabbit was the one who murdered them. And they finally realized that yellow rabbit was the one that was fucking them. And so they all start circling around the yellow rabbit. And the Shagalicious, he's like, I made you. You can't do this to me. Oh my God. And starts going on this big rant. And then the fucking spring traps, because he's in a spring lock suit. He has to move the internals out of the way. And so the springs, they start going in. And there's actually a good scene in there where like a part of his suit comes out so you can kind of see the thing is happening. And so it starts going like chink, 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 and just going all the way up his rib cage, going all the way up his arms. It's kind of a fucking brutal ass scene if you know what's going on inside their fucking, like, the suit itself. And so he's like, starts spazzing like the little fuck he is, like, I can't do nothing. And he's like crying and whimpering and whatever. And so they drag his ass back to the back so they could rape the shit out of him and whatever. He ends up just going. And they ended up grabbing Vanessa and taking her away, getting her to a hospital. And at the end of it, they're, you know, all chilling, you know, all happy ending. And then, like, at the show's Springtrap, he's still alive after 3 fucking weeks, or 3 months after the shit. And he's still on the back. So, he's just dying back there, slowly bleeding out. Based move from the animatronics, letting that bitch die like a dirty fucking dog he is. But, you know, there was an end credit scene with like Balloon Boy or some shit, like just scaring the shit out of some dude, some black dude in a taxi. I don't even know why everybody was like freaking out about that, but maybe if I got the reference I would probably get it, but I didn't know. But anyways, that was the movie. Honestly, my wholeheartedly review of this movie is it is a pretty good movie if you know the lore. Like, that is the only thing. Is like, if you know the lore. Honestly, I didn't think it was that bad. Like, even thinking about it right now, I'm like, hey, you know, that's like not really a bad movie. It's got some slow parts, but like, you know, it makes up for it in like the goofy ways. Like, they have the animatronics, like, doing their shit and whatever. It's a really fun movie. That's what I'm saying. And so, like, I would put that on if I have a bunch of friends over, maybe, and we're just wanting to laugh and whatever. And, you know, at the end of it, overall, what I liked about it, let's get on to the pros and cons on it. The pros, for one, Shagalicious. Shagalicious as fucking Purple Guy. One of the best moves ever. I like it. I like the ideas. Keep coming out with them. Another good one, another good reason, I like the gore. The gore was better than most fucking horror movies that are rated PG-13. Like, it is actually fucking insane. Another reason, I I like the actor that played Mike. He did a pretty good job. People that played Vanessa did a pretty good job. The animatronics, they didn't look too bad. I mean, they looked like they looked kind of fake, but that's what they're supposed to look like. They're supposed to be looking like hunks of metal that walk all weird and shit. Now, to my cons of the movie. I did not like the scenes where they weren't at the shit. But I get it. They gotta make these characters work. They gotta make them like, you gotta feel for them. You gotta feel, because you gotta have terror. Like, terror is only achieved through love. That is a true and hard fact. Like, if you see a random dude getting chased by a car, like, you would be laughing your ass off at him. But if you see your mom getting chased by a car, you're going to be mad, you're going to be pissed, you're going to be scared for her life. That's why in horror movies you got to love the characters in order to be terrified. And so, like, they were doing all this. I didn't like the aunt. The aunt was a fucking bitch. I wanted to strangle the shit out of her with a fucking electrical cord. I would probably gutted her like a fish if I had the chance, but guess what? I am not in the Five Nights at Freddy's lore, sadly. Maybe in the future, but maybe not. But anyways, you know, another reason was it's not rated R. Like, this movie would have been so fucking good, like the lore-wise, as a rated R movie. Because you gotta think, there's all these brutal-ass parts in the FNAF fucking thing. Especially going forward into the sequels, there's a lot of brutal fucking things going on. And it would have been so much better to show these things happen on screen. But, sadly, you know, when you go to rated R, it does not make as much money, sadly. But, you know, rated PG-13, at least they didn't do PG. Like, that's what I'm saying. And they at least tried to incorporate these brutal parts into the fucking story, which I enjoyed. That's what I said in the last part. Another review. Shagalicious. I did not like how Shagalicious was played in this one. It's going to ruin his character as Shaggy. Chances of Shaggy, the Scooby-Doo live action, seeing all that was the way, especially when Scooby-Doo throws his afro in the fruit punch bowl in the tavern and all the biker dudes are mad at him. I don't know why. I would have said, hey man, you come over here and you start dancing, let's do it, let's jig, you know. But, you know, that's the sucky part. Shagalicious was good, but bad. All in the same thing. Equally. I don't know. It just makes sense if you think. But, anyways, that was my review over the Shagalicious Five Nights at Freddy's Twerk Off Fest 2018 at the movie theater. That was a pretty good movie. I would recommend it. I told everybody at my work, go watch it. People I've worked with, they all said it was good. Do not listen to critics on these movies. Do not listen. Listen to me when I say critics have been fucking you in the ass, in the brain, from watching good movies. Because good movies, it's arbitrary. That's what I'm saying. Watch every fucking movie you can. Unless it's absolute dog shit. At least it's not like Cuties or like, what's another movie that no one likes at all? Oh, Captain Marvel, you know, that one was slow as fuck. Miss Marvel, all these feminist bullshits that be coming out. Like, it's all gay. I mean, like, come on. Like, let's be real. Ain't no one watching that shit. Not even leftists are watching that shit, but, you know, you gotta print it out because, you know, you gotta keep the looks up. You gotta keep them up. But, anyways, my overall opinion, it was a pretty good movie. I would recommend. And, thank y'all for watching. thank you for watching this Food for Thoughts. This is Food for Thoughts with Dr. Shitstain himself signing off. Y'all catch you later, and peace. Okay, the shit ain't. There we go. Peace.
Date. After 5 days, I'm taking a shower. My crack smells like shit.